Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another video. All right, let's check it out. Let's see what I got for you right now. If you like those brands that, made a lot of models that you may not be really familiar with, either because they were too expensive or they were not really meant to be sold in your country, or maybe because you're just familiar with other models from those type of brands. Well, if you like brands that will throw you off because they always throw out models that you really did never seen before, this may be the video that you like to watch. Now, let me give it a proper presentation. What I got for you right now, it's a 143 scale, 1970 Alfa Romeo Montreal. And what did I mean about a brand, a model that is not truly, recognizable, or you don't really remember seeing them, or it was just not the staple of the brand, at least from my knowledge. Well, because the Alfa Romeo Montreal, it's not like the Giulia or Giulietta, those were the Alfa Romeos that were known. Maybe because this is more of a sports car only. It looks more like a two-seater, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, I think it's a two-seater. Yep. And probably the it doesn't look like it was a cheap model either, because it looks more obviously more expensive. So probably it was already entering the territory of the supercar brands prices. Not sure if it will already go into like the Ferrari prices or Lamborghini or even Maserati on their homeland. But let me give you a little information about the Alfa Romeo Montreal. It's a sports car produced by Alfa Romeo between 1970 till 1977. Only built in Italy. Uh, it was actual designer is Marcello Gandini Albertone. This car was considered a two-door, 2+2 coupe. So I'm guessing there's a two-seater in the back also, by being a 2+2. Engine is only had a 2.6 V8 engine. Okay, V8 only. Transmissions, you only had a 5-speed ZF manual transmission, so there was not much of an option here. Let's see. Let me read a little bit about this information. See, the production car designated Tipo 105. I guess that was a code of the model back in the days. It was shown at the 1970 Geneva Motor Show. Because this car originally came in the Montreal, Quebec Expo as a concept car back in 1967. So by 1970, they already had the production model. Okay, it had a few different little changes here and there, but it was already basically the same model. And I'm guessing they call them the Montreal. I didn't read this, but I'm quite sure they call this model the Montreal because it originated the concept car. It was at the expo in Montreal. Okay, quite interesting, right? I have never seen this car in person. Never. I didn't even know it existed, even though it was sold for 7 years. You know, this. One thing I like about collecting diecast and resins. I must have said it before, but I'll repeat it again. Why not? That you always get to see brands and models that you have probably never seen in your lifetime, and including me. And I always think I know a lot about cars, which I don't. I like to brag myself, but if I'm not gonna brag myself, who is gonna brag me? Nobody. I like to give myself kisses. I know this, I know that. At the end, I don't know anything, but why not? But this car, I never seen it before. Never. I never heard about it before until I didn't read it. That was actually a real card. That was a concept only. So it always amazes me what new brands come out and you never know they existed. Okay? All right. I'm gonna let it go around a few times and I'll be right back. All right, everyone. I wanted to share this with you guys. The Alfa Romeo Montreal Alfa Romeo chose not to submit the Montreal, which is this model, to emissions testings in the US or Canada, and that made it the car never officially sold or exported to these markets in the other side of the pond. Let's call it like that. But then I was reading, and that's maybe one of the reasons why these cars are so rare, is that the Montreal was more expensive to buy than a Jaguar E-Class or a Porsche 911. And this actually damped the interest of many people, which was already considering buying more fuel efficient options due to the 1973 oil crisis. And this was a V8, so you know how V8s are, they're thirsty. So since the production of the Montreal came to an end in 1977 after only 3,917 examples had been built. Hey, again, you can't get money hungry. And that was probably one of the main problems with Alfa Romeo. Porsche 911 and the Jaguar E-Type were two cars that, especially the Porsche, was really known for being, a sports car. You know, it was a car that people wanted and respected even back in 1970. Now it's even more. So when you pull out a model, which I'm not even crazy about the looks, I'm not gonna lie, the front end looks quite weird to me. I'm not sure the cover and the headlights, if they're supposed to cover the headlights or they're up, but I'm not really liking it too much. I see now for Romeos, and this is not my favorite one by far. All right, everyone. Don't forget to comment below. What do you guys think about this car? Do you remember them? Did you like them? Maybe you got to see one in a car show. Who knows? Maybe you got to see one in a museum. You went to Italy and you got to see them in the roads in, I don't know, Naples. You let me know the stories. I'm all ears and I read them all. And we all want to read your stories and your information that you may have. All right, everyone. Don't forget to give me that beautiful thumbs up. Thank you so much. I always like to thank you guys because you guys do it because you're enjoying it. Hopefully you are, and I'm glad you're enjoying these videos as much as I'm enjoying making them. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell next to the subscribe button that will remind you when I'm posting more videos. Take care of yourselves more than ever, and goodbye.